What's going on, guys? I'm Calvin Reed. Welcome back to Outdoors with Creed. Today we're going to do another one of my setup editions. Last time I did one of these, I explained my Texas rig. I'll leave a link up in the top for that. You can click on that one and watch that one if you'd like to. But today we're talking about my Swimbait setup. Now, before we get into this, let me real quick say shout out to Sixgill Fishing and to Monsterbass. Monsterbass, of course, is a monthly subscription where you get all kinds of baits sent to you. There's two different boxes that you can get with Monsterbass. You pick the box that you want to get the number of baits that come in that box, but you pick your region, and believe there's quite a few questions, but basically you pick the region that you fish in and that you live in, and then they will send you a box every month that has a different variety of baits that should be working for you during that time of the season, as well as that region of the country. So to get your subscription box, click on the link down in the description box. In the promo code, type in SAVE15 to get $15 off on your first subscription. Again, that's SAVE15, and I'll leave a link in the description box for you to click on, and that way you can get your subscription of Monsterbass. Now, let's jump into this, my Swimbait setup. Okay, first of all, here, I'm gonna scoot up for you. This is the Sixgill Creature Rod, 7.3 medium heavy power. So try to show you that again, see if it'll come in a little bit clearer for you. I don't think it will. It's having trouble zooming in. Hang on. I don't think it's gonna get it. But this is the Sixgill Creature Rod, 7.3 medium heavy power, and I've got that paired up with the Sixgill Wraith, and this is the 6:3 to 1 gear ratio. When I first set this rod up, I actually had the Cyclone 6:1 gear ratio on here. I had that reel for quite a while, so it started giving me a little bit of trouble, and I thought it was about time I upgraded the reel, and I ended up putting the Wraith on here. And of course the Wraith comes with the oversized carbon handle, ceramic ball bearing, so a lot smoother cast, and when you're winding it in, it's a lot faster on the retrieve. But the 6:3 to 1, that way when I'm fishing my swim baits, and right now I got on here a Strike King Rage Swimmer. This particular color is KVD Magic. In fact, if you watch my last video that I put on there where I was out with my brother, and I'll have that video linked at the end of this one, and the fish that you see me catch, I was actually using this rod and reel as well as this bait. This is the exact same bait that I had on there. I never took it off. But I got that paired up with, I believe I switched it. It might still be 12-pound Berkley Trilene, 100% fluorocarbon, 12-pound test. And I have that tied up to, right now I have it tied on to a TroKar Swimbait hook. And real quick before I go any further, there's a few different ways you can fish the Swimbait. Mainly when I say fishing Swimbaits, I'm usually talking about the Strike King Rage Swimmer. But of course, you know, there's other companies that have their own variety of Swimbaits, which I do fish. My favorite just so happens to be the Strike King Rage Swimmer. But there's a few different ways you can fish that. You have the TroKar Swimbait weighted hook, and that's the one that I have on here now. It has the lead weight here. This is a 1/4 ounce weight, but it has the screw keeper where you screw the bait onto that, and then you run the hook back in through the belly. And a lot of these swim baits, like the Strike King, has a little cut right there already, so that way you can put your hook in and line it up straight. And then it has the same little cut on top so you can run your hook through, and then you can kind of hide that hook right there, so when the fish bite, it doesn't have to try to poke through any plastic or anything, and you get a quick hook set. Also, here is another TroKar swim bait hook, except this one is weightless. And what I like to do with this, and I call it my Swimbait Setup, but one of the good things about the Strike King Rage Tail line of baits is you can fish any of those baits on these swim bait hooks. In fact, they call it rage rigging, but you can either fish it with the weighted hook like I have here, or non-weighted hook. I also have the TroKar weighted Underspin, and again, this is a 1/4 ounce weight, but I have this small little blade on here, and that's so if you're fishing these during the shad spawn, then this puts off a little bit of flash, plus it puts off a little bit of vibration. So like in some of those little bit more stained water, it'll put off some vibration and help those fish hone in on the bait. And then the last way you can rig this to fish a swim bait is with a Swimbait Jighead. As you can see, this is the TroKar Jighead swim bait. It has the bait keeper here to keep those baits from sliding off. I would probably throw this if I'm fishing a more open water area and trying to fish down in that mid depth, but that way, you know, you're not going to get hung up on as much. But then, you know, it basically, you can fish these anywhere. But this is my setup. Normally 90% of the time I will fish it with the weight, but like I said, with that style of rigging like that, with the Strike King stuff, you can fish anything from the Rage Swimmers, the Rage Toads, the Cutter Worm, any of their baits that have that patented flange, and you can swim that bait alone, will work good on this. Like I said, I choose to call this one my Swimbait Setup, because that's, when I first set it up, that's normally what I had in mind on fishing with it, was the Rage Swimmers. Also, the going back to the rod, medium heavy, so that way, because a lot of times I'm throwing this up close to cover, or I'm fishing it through grass, so that medium heavy is to help when you set the hook on one of those fish. If they try to swim back into that grass, then you've got that extra leverage with the rod to horse those guys out of there. Because once they get buried in there, it's going to be hard. You got to kick your trolling motor on and get over there and get to them. But I feel that with this medium heavy rod, I've got enough backbone to where I can set the hook and horse those fish out of there and not have to go in there and get them. But that is basically my setup. Again, that's the Sixgill Creature with the Sixgill Wraith, 12-pound Berkley Trilene 100% Fluorocarbon. Again, bait on here, Strike King Rage Swimmer. This particular color is the KVD Magic, but my favorite one is the Sexy Shad. That's the one that I've caught the majority of my fish on. And then, as I stated before, you either have the, I like to fish mine with the weighted swim bait hook, the non-weighted swim bait hook, the weighted underspin, or you can fish these with just the Swimbait Jighead. All of this stuff, the hooks I bought at Bass Pro Shop, but I'm pretty sure whatever local tackle shop you have in your area, you'll be able to find these. Or you can go to bassproshop.com, or you can just go straight to TroKar.com. I believe that's the right website. If it's not, go to Google, type in TroKar Fishing, and you'll find that website. You can order those hooks off of there, as well as all the other TroKar hooks that they have out. The fishing line, I picked this up at Bass Pro Shop, and the Rage Swimmers, I picked those up at Bass Pro Shop also. But like I said, that's just what I like, but you use what you like, because again, fishing is all about you and what you like and how you like to fish. But next time you're out and you're looking for a setup that you can get out, cover a lot of water, fish different baits at different depths. Get you a 6-gill creature, throw you a 6-gill Wraith on there, and set you up a Swimbait setup. Also, before I go any further, Sixgill does have a rod out called the Sixgill Brute. That is their swim bait rod. That rod is set up for you to fish a lot of the bigger swim baits and glide baits. This one is set up for me just to fish these small plastic swim baits. But that is my swim bait setup. So next time you're out, get you a 6-gill rod and reel, set you up a TroKar hook on there, and throw you your favorite swim bait. Go out there and try to catch you some monsters. Till the next time, see you guys, the great outdoors.